Okay.
All right, what's going on, everybody? This is Telvin Knudsen, and I'm here currently solo, but it won't be that long before Eric Oliver joins us. And this is episode 5 of How Email Changed My Life. However, this particular episode is How Email Empire Changed My Life, and we have special guest and unusual story and long-term acquaintance and friend turned student. It's been a very cool thing that's begun to unfold. Eric, I hope you're ready. I'm going to bring you in. We have none other than Eric. Oh, you're already here. Eric
I'm here.
Oliver,
All right.
beaming in straight from Hawaii.
That's right.
That's how. So, dude. We want to talk a little bit today about your experience going from a total email newbie
Right.
to starting to build your email list and generating traffic every day and sending emails to your email list and all this stuff, because it's been a brand new recent thing that in the last few years that you've started thinking about and then started executing on and actually having success with, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Hmm.
So what I want to share with everybody is that Eric is, first of all, he's a student in our flagship program, Email Empire. And the reason I asked Eric to jump on for episode 5 is everybody else that I've interviewed has been making their living from email for at least a decade. Most of the people that I've interviewed has been making their living from email for 2 decades, right? And this is a relatively new step in your journey, Eric. And but
Right.
at the same time, Eric and I go way, way, way back. We have an unusual history, and so I want to talk a little bit today about the unusual history, a little bit, but more. I really want to focus on how learning email marketing and what the process of learning email marketing and then implementing everything relentlessly, which you've done an amazing job. By the way, Eric is a star student. So um, Eric has done an amazing job at following instructions, which is sometimes hard to do, especially if you're a creative, especially if you don't necessarily like following all the rules, etc., etc. Sometimes it can be, for me anyway, it takes an enormous amount of personal discipline to follow someone else's rules, someone else's instructions, someone else's guide. But I found that if you want to get good at a new skill, that's the name of the game, right? You can put your own spin on it later once you get good. It's classic like
Exactly. Right.
wax off, right? So um, I guess, Eric, the first question that I just want to ask you, and we can get into whatever, is how did email change your life? Like, what has happened? What has transpired? What has transformed in your life since you've learned email marketing? I mean, you've been really dedicated to this stuff. Your follow through has been amazing. I wish all of my students had the level of like dedication and just relentless pursuit and execution that you do. And I really love the fact that you're like a dreadlock, off grid, organic farming hippie, because a lot of my best students in the past have been like personal trainers, right? They're like in the gym doing the reps. They're like,
Okay. Right. Right.
work hard as fuck, you know?
Yeah.
And so I've been really excited to have someone who's more renegade, more free thinking, a little bit more chilled out and laid back, also have success by implementing this stuff. With the tee up, um, Eric is the younger brother of one of my ex-college roommates, Chris Oliver, who is one of my favorite people in the world. Amazing potter. Really loved living with Chris and really value his friendship, but we don't really stay in touch. And so it's been so cool to kind of reconnect with you and then see you implement all this stuff. So Eric, for you, um, how has email changed your life? How is beginning this whole process and going through this whole new skill development been for you? Like, you know, what's
Right.
up?
Yeah, no, it's been a total game changer just as far as like my whole process with how I'm operating my business, what I'm promoting, and that kind of thing. I guess my starting point when I entered the email empire coaching program, I was focused on a niche that was really not very well aligned for me at all. And
Like, explain,
yeah, so I was focused on the struggling network marketers niche, and there's just so many people already doing that, and I just don't look like your average network marketer. And Telman was able to recognize that right off and you know suggest a much more aligned niche for me. And I felt a lot of resistance to that at first because I just poured so much of my time and energy um, invested into this other niche that I just
hold on. How much of your time and energy?
oh god,
like explain to people how long you were trying to figure out how to build an audience of network marketers. Like, how much?
right. So in that particular niche, about 10 or 11 months of, yeah, probably 10 months of really extremely long days, like anywhere from like an 8 hour day would be a very short day. That would I consider a half day. I was working typically like 12, 14, sometimes 16-hour days and wasn't getting anywhere with it. And yeah, I just kept applying myself, and it was just like banging my head against a wall for almost a year. And yeah, it was super frustrating.
I want to make a point on this, is that you were studying with people in the industry that I genuinely love and respect. Okay? You were working with a long-standing company that teaches principles that work. Like, I'm friends with the owners. All right. But the problem was alignment.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, you didn't believe in what you were doing. Right?
I mean, it's not so much that I didn't believe in what I was doing. I just felt like my audience didn't really vibe with me. I'm kind of eccentric, and your average network marketers are not really. They're pretty mainstream mostly.
Network marketing is interesting because network marketing is like it's like buying a franchise, only way less commitment.
Sure.
Right? It's like a business in a box. It's like I want to own a business.
Yep.
But I don't want to have to come up with anything new. I want as much certainty as possible. Like, I want a complete blueprint and roadmap, and that's legit.
Right.
It's kind of like a Lego set.
Exactly.
Right? It's just like follow the instructions, click, 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 click. If you follow all the instructions to the letter, it should come out looking pretty close to the picture.
Right. Right? That's the idea.
But that's not so good if you're the kind of person that likes to color outside of the lines.
For sure.
Right.
Yep.
So you were operating, you were learning email marketing, you were learning direct response marketing, you were learning how to generate traffic, and technically you were learning how to build your list, but it wasn't working.
Right. Well, I hadn't really quite gotten to the email marketing bit yet in that program. That was the part I was kind of stuck at, and I remained stuck there for quite a while. And while I was learning so much from that program, something that I was not getting was the amount of kind of one-on-one mentorship that I'm finding working with Telman.
That makes a lot of so.
Yeah.
What?
And so I would remain stumped on certain things for long periods of time. And yeah, I was not yet building my list in that niche. I was I had my funnel built and all ready for the network marketing niche, but I was stuck on a tech issue and not getting response from the tech support and that kind of thing for long periods of time. So, yeah, it wasn't until I started your program that I actually started building my list.
Cool. So yeah, so like practically speaking, right?
Practically speaking, all right.
Before you started Email Empire roughly 3 months ago
Yep.
versus now, what's changed in your life? You know, what have you
Okay.
what big shifts have happened? What's changed in your what's changed?
Um, the biggest shift was just, focusing my time and energy on an audience that was receptive and responsive to me. And yeah, that was probably the most significant shift. That in itself changed everything. All of a sudden, the content that I was putting lots of time and energy into creating was getting a lot of interaction. I was making, connections with people and building a following in that niche, which has ultimately enabled me. Because I mean, without that, you can't really build a list. So yeah, so there was that aspect, and then actually getting the funnel in place and having, something that's automated humming in the background. That's been a total game changer too. Finding that, you know, my list is building when I'm sleeping and that kind of thing. So yeah, that's been really nice. And for people to have the ability to book calls with me while I'm not actually there present physically interacting with them is awesome. And yeah, it's just a way to, reach people with it feels a lot less hands-on.
That's right. So, what would you say have been at least so far? What have been the most valuable lesson or lessons that you've learned as it relates to building your email list? Right? Like, are there any like big aha moments or shifts in your thinking that have occurred that are significant for you?
Hmm. Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, I mean, again, the biggest one was just choosing a better niche for myself. Getting that in place was probably the most significant aha moment for me. Um, but yeah, there's probably other things as well. Let me think.
Yeah, that's a really good point though, because so choose. Most people would say choose a niche, choose a market. In Email Empire, this is the very first thing we focus on, and we call it your who,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
And where most people screw up is they try to come up with a problem that they're going to solve for people with their product, with their service, or the product or service that they're an affiliate of, or the product or service that they're, if they're in a network marketing company that they're promoting. And they never get clear on who they're really looking to help and who they're really looking to serve. And as a result, because they don't get clear on who it is that they're trying to help, they have a really hard time finding those people because they have no idea where to. If you don't know who you're looking for, how the heck are you going to find them?
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And
You won't
so
know where they are.
it's kind of like if you're dating a little bit, right? Like, who are the kind of people that you like? Maybe you should go and hang out in those types of places where those types of people hang out, right?
Right.
Idea. If you like people who eat healthy, maybe you should hang out at the healthy grocery stores and the healthy restaurants. If you like people who
Mhm.
are in shape, maybe you should go and hang out at the yoga studios and at the gym, right?
Right.
If
Yeah,
you like
exactly.
who love to draw and paint, maybe you should go hang out at the local art studios, right? Like, You'll meet people who you're into. Same with your business, right? Getting clear on that who is so important. And with most people, they try to choose a who that they think is going to be profitable. They try to choose a who that they think is going to be easy money, an easy target. And if that's where you're coming from, they're going to smell you coming from a mile away. You're just coming to take advantage of people. Nobody wants to be taken advantage of in that kind of way. And so we focus on helping people to find a who that they're already part of.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that also is a huge aha moment for me, is realizing how simple it is to actually choose a niche. It's basically just look in the mirror.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that was a really solid thing. I like that.
Yeah.
In the mirror. That was really good. I like it. I'm going to steal that.
Nice. Yeah, go for it. Uh-huh.
So good. Maybe I should go into like the baldness, the hair restoration.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Dude, would you tell the story that you told the other day about talking with your brother on recently?
Oh yeah, it was my father's 80 or 79th birthday, and I was on a Zoom call with him, talking to him, and my brother happened to call him on the telephone at the same time. So my dad patched my brother Chris onto the Zoom call. And yeah, I hadn't talked to him in a little while. And yeah, I mentioned that I had been working with you, Tellman, and in his
for those of you who are just jumping in, Eric's older brother Chris, I used to be roommates with in college. Right, we rented a house.
Right, which is where I first met Tellman years and years ago, like 20 something years ago. And yeah, so I mentioned to my brother that I was in, your email marketing class, and yeah, and he kind of felt, he was like jazzed about that. And then yeah, he mentioned, yeah, that's right. Back in the day, we'd just be like hanging out, and God, Tellman would not stop talking about list building this and email marketing that. And he was just kind of like rolling his eyes. But then he was like, then he didn't see him for like 10 years. And then he went back for a wedding. I'm guessing it was your wedding, maybe?
Yeah, it was my wedding.
It was your wedding. Yeah.
And like Jody and I, Jody also rented with Chris. So
right, yeah.
Jody and I were dating at the time, but we dated for 10 years and lived together for a long time before we got married. So yeah, it was my wedding. Yep.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so then my brother shows up at Tellman's wedding, and he's like, yeah, and then he had like this huge mansion and like a Ferrari and stuff. And he's like, yeah, he kind of got it at that point. But what really struck me about that story, hearing it from my brother, was just, an example of somebody that really stuck with something, even when the people around them, didn't necessarily believe in them and just kind of rolled their eyes at it and whatnot, and actually created something awesome with it. Right. So yeah, I thought that was super inspiring.
That's cool. That's cool. So, Eric, this is something that I got from a mentor of mine, Dan Sullivan, that runs Strategic Coach, and this is something I learned from him quite a while ago. So here's another question I'd like to ask you.
Okay.
If you and I were sitting down a year from today, and we were having the same conversation, maybe live streaming, maybe sipping espressos across from a fire pit, who knows? And we're having the same conversation. What would have had to have happened, both personally and professionally, for you to feel satisfied with your progress?
10 years from now?
1 year.
Oh, 1 year. Okay.
Yeah, let's not get too crazy.
Yeah, right. Yeah. 1 year from now. So it's basically the question is, what are my goals for the next year?
That's one way of interpreting it. So,
Yeah. Well, to be, generating a good income with all my efforts and being able to, yeah, really being able to generate, you know, enough income to where I can, have the freedom to do the things that I want to do. And which has been a struggle as I've currently been putting all my time and energy into something that has not been paying me and sticking with it nonetheless. And yeah, I have a lot of really big dreams and visions of what I want to create. And yeah, so a year from now, I want to be experiencing traction with my efforts and yeah, growing my team, making sales, having, a much larger email list and faster rate at which people are subscribing to it.
awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, on that note, I just threw up Eric's website where you can go and join his email list. And so Daniel's your middle name, right?
It is. Yeah.
So eric-daniel.com/off-grid-income-2. We're going to get that more simplified in the very near future, I believe. But in the meantime, you can go right there to opt into Eric's early bird list, which I highly recommend that you do, just to check out what he's doing, if nothing else. Because Eric, you're making daily videos on Facebook, you're making reels, you're doing all sorts of stuff in various off-grid related groups. And so you're really focused on helping folks who have homesteads and who live off grid to develop income sources from their farm so they don't have to go and work jobs on off their homestead just to support their homestead lifestyle, right?
Exactly. Right. Yep.
So dude, I'll tell you that one thing that you just did I thought was great, and I want you to do more of it.
Okay.
It will totally work for you. So what you just did was you joined this TikTok challenge.
Right.
And you joined their affiliate program.
Exactly.
And I was like, dude, send me a link. And you sent me a link to you sent me your affiliate link.
Right.
Okay. So I made my first $1 million promoting affiliate programs. And when I say I made my first million, let me explain. That's actually like not real math. That's kind of bogus old school math that I guess I used to use a lot, but I don't really use anymore, which is I did my first $1 million in sales online promoting programs because I didn't know how to write sales copy yet. I didn't know how to write sales letters yet. I didn't know how to do a stage presentation. I didn't know how to do what we would now call a webinar. Back then was a teleseminar, a 60 to 90 minute long talk that then sold something at the end. I didn't have those skills yet, right?
Right.
And those are things you got to develop. That's the deal, right? And so instead, what I would do is I built up my email list, and that's a whole nother story, but I built up my email list, and then I would do a weekly webinar where I promote somebody else's webinar, and I would be the host, but I would let them do most of the talking and selling. And I'd earn 30 to 50%, depending on the market. It was mostly internet marketing, mostly 50%. In the personal development space back in the day, it was a little bit less. But the point is that I did my first $1 million in sales online, promoting affiliate programs. I made like 300 grand, a little bit more, in profits. And that's how I got my start. And so one of the things that you're doing right now is you are in the early stages of success. You're
Okay.
working your ass off,
Yep.
learning new skills,
Right.
and you're executing on them consistently, and you know, or at least you're telling yourself that it's going to work as long as you build your list up big enough and you keep on learning.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's the deal. Just keep on
Mhm.
learning until there's money in the bank. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's my philosophy. You know, I've got some other small streams of income supporting my lifestyle at this point, and I've just kind of gotten used to, not making money with my business right now, and I know that is going to shift. And yeah, it enables me to just keep at it every day.
Well, that's such a big. It's such a big key. It's so important. But the thing that you did that was good, in my opinion, I think you
Hmm.
should do more of, is you bought a program and you decided to promote it to your list.
Right.
And right now, at this stage in your career, you're in a unique spot that won't last forever. You're in a sweet spot. I'm no
Okay.
longer in this sweet spot. You are.
Okay.
And I used to be when I started List Crusade in 2004 or whatever. In 2004, I knew that I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I lived in a crappy little apartment next to a funeral home. I was doing hypnosis full time. I was moonlighting at the Vermont Bread Company a night shift to make enough money to pay the rent. Okay. And I was trying to figure out how to either sell salsa on the internet or hypnosis CDs on the internet.
All right.
And I started List Crusade, which was an interview series where I interviewed all these people on the skills that I didn't have that related to email marketing, list building, and entrepreneurial mindset. At the end of those interviews, we sold their products and services, whether it was in a webinar or a short 30-minute phone interview or whatever. And that's how I got started online. But what worked is that I knew I had no idea what the heck I was doing. I knew I was a novice. I knew I was a beginner, and I had no interest in posturing. So I
Okay.
didn't act like I knew shit that I didn't know. I asked embarrassing questions during the interviews because I knew if I had them, my listeners had them too.
Sure.
That
That's a good
created
idea. Right.
enormous sense of bond, rapport, and trust between me and my listeners and between me and the person I was interviewing. So it allowed for my people to see me as just a little bit ahead of them on the curve, but I was the one taking the risk.
All right. Yeah.
They could ask me questions and I could be their conduit to information. And so back then, challenges weren't a thing. Nobody did challenges. Online challenges for like learning marketing stuff is a fairly new thing. It's the last 2 years where it's really gotten popular.
Okay.
And so the TikTok challenge that you're doing right now, I think is cool. Like I need to learn TikTok. I'm probably
Yeah.
going to it anyway. But like I think it's cool because you can take it, you can buy it, you can implement it, and you can promote it all in the same move. Because you can be like,
Exactly.
I'm Eric Oliver. I help people who are living in homesteads and off grid to make money from home instead of taking crappy jobs that take them away from their dream home and their dream life and their dream farm. How do you create more streams of income from home? I'm going to share with you how I'm doing it. Right now, I realize one thing that I need more than anything in the world is traffic. If I don't have people who are paying attention to me, who do I have to sell anything to? Nobody. So I realized that one of my skills, one thing I'm naturally good at, because I'll tell you, there's all sorts of stuff that I suck at. I'm not that good at tech. I'm just beginning copywriting. There's all sorts of stuff that I'm definitely not good at. But one thing I'm good at is creating good short form social media videos because I practice and I live in West Farm. So if you want to learn how to get traffic from the fastest growing social media platform on the planet right now, TikTok, don't take it from me. Take it from the people that I'm doing my TikTok challenge with. Blah, 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 blah. Click on the link below and we can do it together. And I'd love to see us both blow up in TikTok in the next 30, 60, 90 days. It'd be cool to work together on it.
Right. Totally.
Easy
Exactly. Yep.
Right? You're just like, hey, you're pitching the thing that you're learning right now.
Exactly.
And you're not pretend, it's totally transparent. There's no, you're not pretending.
For sure. Yeah.
Cool. So I just wanted to share that with you because I thought that the other day. I think I don't know if I saw an email or a Facebook post. One thing though that you should learn about is you need to learn about this is just like a bonus session. You need to learn about redirects. And
Redirects. Okay.
I know that you are using a very specific system for building your landing pages and that kind of stuff. But basically, here's the thing. When you're promoting an affiliate program, whether you're sending an email to your list, or even if you're doing a Facebook post in your group with a link to something to buy, generally speaking, if you post your affiliate link, that's going to be bad for everybody.
Okay. How so?
Well, I'm about to tell you.
Okay, cool.
The reason is because Facebook can see affiliate links.
All right.
Okay. When you send an affiliate link through your email, it's to a different domain name than is your domain name where you're sending from with your email.
Right.
Right. There's nothing congruent about it. It screams spam.
Okay.
Affiliate links, generally speaking, scream spam. Everybody.
When posted on social media specifically.
Everywhere.
Right.
Okay. So there are better ways than this, I suppose, if you want to get all technical, but your list isn't big enough for that to matter right now. What matters
right.
This is redirect. So a redirect would be like ericoliver.com/ I know that's not your domain, or maybe that should be your domain. Can you get ericoliver.com, or somebody else already got that?
Oh, probably. Oh, yeah, I don't know. I could look into it.
Anyway, whatever. Either way, eric blah blah blah.com / TikTok.
Okay.
Right. So if you're building your list on ericoliver.com and you're sending out from ericoliver.com and your social media is on ericoliver.com and everything's focused on ericoliver.com, creating a redirect it's not a web. It's a type of web page that you can't see that just automatically redirects. So that automatically redirects people to the link you want them to go to.
Okay, so it's just like a springboard, basically.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's a redirect, right?
Yeah.
Like a detour. And
yep.
Bitly, you've seen Bitly links?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Bitly is a service that does redirects.
Okay, cool. That's good to know.
And there are a bunch of services like that. And depending on your web host and depending on the software that you're using to build your website or to build your funnel, they may or may not have a redirect feature. Like I use ClickFunnels for mostly everything, and at least ClickFunnels 1.0 is super old school, and you have to do kind of this weird workaround thing to do a redirect, but there's a way to do it. Are you frozen? Are you able to speak, by the way?
Oh, okay, we're back.
Now he's back. So yeah.
Yep.
So I was just saying that if you can do a redirect whenever you're doing an affiliate link instead of the blatant affiliate link, you will get significantly less squelched in both social media and email.
Okay.
And I just noticed
that's good to know.
When you did that affiliate link the other day. I wanted to share that with you.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate that.
Cool. So, so guys, if you want to join Eric's off-grid income list, eric-daniel.com/off-grid-income-2. And as soon as he gets a cleaner redirect, we'll do another video and we'll let you know.
Yeah.
In the meantime, if you guys want to build your email list and start learning email marketing yourself, you can join the email marketing early bird list at nowscotland.com/early-bird. And Eric, do you have any words of wisdom, advice, or enthusiasm for anyone who's on the fence when it comes to learning to build your email list and working with me to really create that email empire? Do you have any thoughts for anybody who's considering?
I mean, if you're considering it, I don't know why you're on the fence. Yeah, I would say just learn from Tellman. He knows what he's doing and has helped me a lot. And um, yeah, there was a time where I didn't really understand what email marketing was or how to implement that or like what all the components were. And I felt a lot of confusion around that. It just kind of looked like this sort of muddled thing that I couldn't wrap my brain around. Um, and yeah, Tellman has really helped me to decipher all the parts and how to assemble them all into, a well-oiled machine. And
Coconut oil, though, not petroleum.
that's right. Yeah, coconut oil. But yeah, as far as sitting on the fence, it's not really a good place to be. It's just kind of, if you're interested in doing something that you know is going to help you, just sitting on the fence is like wasting your time, where that could be spent towards, building your list and moving forward and towards your goals and dreams and all that.
Yeah. A lot of people ask about whether email is still valid, right? Whether it's still important, whether it's too antiquated or old school, right?
Right.
Which is a totally valid question.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is antiquated, right? Email is old school. Dude, did you realize that email is 50 years old?
Is that right? Wow.
First
That's
email
crazy.
was 50 freaking years ago.
Wow.
Right? Unbelievable. So this is the blessing and the curse of email marketing. This is the blessing and the curse of building your list, which is it is old school.
It is, yeah.
Email is old as the internet itself, right? Which is one of the reasons that nobody owns it. Email is not owned. Now, one could say that Gmail or Google owns email because they have 70-80% of all free email addresses.
Yep.
They don't own the medium, though. They are
Sure.
the monopoly. They are the gorilla, the 800-pound gorilla of email. That's true. But the reality is there's always a new contender. And the game of email is changing, and it is heavily influenced by Gmail and Google, but it is not owned by Gmail and Google. And so email is a old school building block of the internet. And because of that, because it's not owned, Facebook is owned by Meta, right? Gmail and YouTube are owned by Google, right? Etc. Instagram is owned by Google, Meta. Anyway, there are these mega corporations that own the majority of the social media platforms that are in it for themselves.
Right.
Primary game. And as a result, they're going to change the organic algorithm, and they're going to change the rules of advertising as we go. And that's legitimate. And we use all of those, both organic and paid media sources, to build our core platform, which is email, because it's decentralized and because you control it. No one owns it. It's your own private island, right? So anyway, awesome, Eric. You're doing a really, really, really good job, and I'm
Thank
looking
you.
forward to you hyper monetizing this off-grid homesteading market.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm stoked for it. Yeah, no, I just wanted to also add in, just earlier this morning, I was reading a post from somebody on Facebook about, she just had her Instagram account shut down. She had had this account for 12 years and had built a following of many thousands of people, and that's where all her clients and customers were. And she was asking for, help. What do I do about this? And I commented on it. I was like, I don't know how to rectify that once that's happened, but here moving forward, I highly recommend that you look into building an email list.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's the name of the game, dude.
Yep, you can't get deplatformed from email, but any social media deplatforming is they even have a name for it.
Yeah, no, it's tricky. It's such a funny thing because I realized it's like life insurance. Like nobody really wants to buy it, right?
Right.
It's all about thinking ahead for the future. And with email, it's the same thing. It really is thinking ahead for the future. It's like, I want to start by building a small list now that will turn into a giant list later that I'm going to live off of for the next 10, 20, 30 years. Right?
Right.
But it starts with planting a few small seeds and trying to figure out how to get those seeds to grow, and when they die, it can be very frustrating, and so
right.
it's true. It really is a long game. So in that way, email marketing isn't sexy, but it all of a sudden becomes very important when you realize that email still has the highest ROI in terms of ad spend of any other platform, period, on the internet. That's the reality. So try to beat it.
Right. Yep.
Cool. All right, rock and roll. Well,
awesome.
Eric, I want to run something by you.
Okay, sure.
I'm not I'm expecting a negative response from you, but maybe it'll surprise me. So I've been trying to work on this new school, right?
Yeah.
And I'm inspired. I've been watching Cobra Kai lately. I've been getting inspired by the idea of creating a marketing school that's designed like a martial arts school.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But I've never been trained in the martial arts. I've had many friends who've been trained in martial arts, but I never was attracted to the structure. I was never attracted to like the belt ranking system and approval from others and all this kind of stuff. It wasn't really my style, right?
Right.
But I've begun to really look at martial arts schools as a really effective way of teaching people not only a body of knowledge, but also an enormous amount of self-confidence, self-discipline, right? Like most of my friends that I know who've spent many years of their life training in martial arts are pretty awesome people.
Right. Okay. Uh-huh.
Badass, right?
Like, yeah.
They're reliable, they're smart, they're dedicated, they're like
got discipline.
Yeah, they're willing to endure some pain,
Yep.
They're badass. And
yeah.
I think I have a name for the team that we're gonna form.
Okay.
I've been trying to come up with a really cool name, and I haven't come up with any really cool names yet, but I think I just did.
Yeah, let's hear it.
The Executioners.
The Executioners.
We train entrepreneurs to execute. And so the whole idea is like, imagine 5 days a week, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know exactly how it's going to be structured, but imagine 5 days a week, you can go to class and you do marketing drills. You're like writing subject lines, writing emails, writing an email and deploying it, like you're writing 100 headlines in 5 minutes. Like you're actually practicing the art of marketing for your business,
Hmm.
right? You're training under time, under stress, and then went to up level with the belts. I was like, should it be keyboards? Should you have white keyboards? Should it be headbands? I was like, that'd be kind of cool, but a little cheesy. Or headbands? I was like, what
Yeah.
about wristbands or like colored shirts that you're wearing? And these are. Then I was like, if they're called the executioners, you could have the white axe, the red axe, the blue axe, the black axe, right? And I was like, oh, we could have a headband with like double axes on it.
Yeah. I like
And,
the headband idea.
um, but basically the whole idea is that if you struggle with execution, if you're caught in learning all the time, but you're having a hard time actually doing the things that are going to make the money,
Yep.
we are going to train you to do the things. So
We're like right then and there, right during class.
during class,
Yeah, exactly.
you're going to write the email and you're going to send the damn email during freaking class. I'm going to show you an example. You're going to do it, and then you're going to be able to ask questions. Do it. Do it now. So it'll be very, rather than it being a massive class or course, it'll be a monthly program. You pay a flat fee per month, and you can show up to as many classes as you want based on the schedule. And then like once a month or once every 3 months, we'll have a test, and you can you can basically test up your axe level.
Nice. Yeah, I like it.
The executioners.
Yeah. No, it's perfect.
For you.
Yeah, no, that's a huge thing. It's like, yeah, you can learn. There's no end to what you can learn, but if you're not implementing and executing on it, then
Doesn't matter.
it's of no value.
The other really cool thing about it that I'm going to build into the culture is a focus on community. And what I mean by
Cool.
that is that one of the names that I was thinking of that is nice but not very edgy is Our Team, right?
All right.
Basically, join our team, right? Like, and when you join our team, one of the primary things that you're going to be focused on is either finding a team for you to be part of or finding a team because you want to start one and you're looking for the other members of the team. And in this type of business, there are a bunch of different skill sets that you need on your team. And depending on what you're trying to do, they can change. But some of the core ones that you definitely need are you need a copywriter, you need a funnel builder, you need a traffic driver, and you need a front man, which I'm probably just going to call a guru, right? Because calling it front man is not politically correct anymore. So, like, you need a guru. You need somebody who's going to show up and be the face of the company.
Sure. Yep.
Then, you also need customer support. You also need a project manager, or depending on the size of your company, an operations person, right? If you have something expensive to sell, then you need like a high ticket salesperson. And so as your business grows, there are other skill sets that you need to bring on board. But the problem is, if you're just getting started, you're just developing your basic skills. And you may or you may not have like the leadership drive to build your own team yet, or the vision to build your own team yet, right? If you do, then great. Now you're in a group of people who are all sharpening their marketing skills in the same way that you are. And if you're looking for a copywriter, if you're looking for a traffic driver, if you're looking for a project manager,
They're all there.
you're there.
Yeah. No, that's great.
In theory, or at least some of them are there.
Sure.
Right?
Yep.
So real big focus on community and team building, I think. So anyway, that's kind of the idea of the executioners. I think it's a badass name.
Yeah, it is.
It's a little bit on the masculine side, but
Right.
I think that might be okay.
Yeah. I feel like it will attract real action takers.
Ideally, well, that's been one of the biggest problems that I've had. Dude, I've been selling stuff on the internet since 2003. It's 20 years now, and my biggest frustration is slackers, to be honest. Like, slackers
Yeah.
piss me off so bad. It's just like, why are you wasting your life studying my stuff and never doing a damn thing with it? Why don't you just go waste your life somewhere else with somebody else? Like, it's so frustrating. Slackers drive me freaking bananas. People
Yeah, me too.
even try and come up with lame excuses.
Yep.
Drive me nuts. And so trying to consistently improve my messaging to be attractive to people that are actually going to try something is, hugely important. We got Rick Burdo. How's it going, Rick? Rick Burdo is an awesome dude. He's a veteran. Back in the day, he studied email marketing with me and did a big teleseminar series for veterans. And
Cool.
And he has a really great mustache. I mean, like, really good mustache. Cool. All right, Eric, do you have anything else to say before we wrap up here? We did a pretty long live stream.
Yeah, no, I feel pretty complete.
Cool. Well, guys,
Yeah.
if you want to follow Eric, I highly recommend eric-daniel.com/off-grid-income-2. And you can go join his email list and see what he's doing there. And if you guys want to learn how to build your own email list, then I strongly encourage you to join our early bird list at myscotland.com/early-bird and be happy to chat with you about whether it'd be the right thing for you and your business. So, Eric, thanks for taking some time today.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Let's talk about email marketing. Cool. All right, everybody.
All right.
Wonderful weekend and a fabulous Friday the 13th.
It is. Yeah. All right.
All right. Over and out. Thanks.
Aloha.